10 years ago, in a galaxy very, very near, George Lucas imagined a world no one else had ever seen. When he placed it on screen in Star Wars in 1977, he asked us to see it through the eyes of a restless and idealistic young man, Luke Skywalker. Through 3 films, Luke would travel to the farthest reaches of his galaxy, seeking adventure and manhood and wisdom. It would be a perilous journey, for this was a universe in turmoil, with the forces of light and darkness locked in mortal combat. The Dark Lord of the Sith, exemplar and symbol of all the evil Luke would ultimately have to confront, Darth Vader. On his long journey to that final confrontation, Luke would take strength and wisdom from a gentle, perfect knight.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
And take knowledge from astounding sources.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Along his way, he would discover that, like everyone else, he contained all the world's possibilities within himself. The dark side of the Force as well as the light. There was a bold and beautiful princess at the center of his universe. The bond they felt was powerful.
Good luck.
And it was deepened by all that they shared. Han Solo, hot pilot and cool adventurer, was a man for all risks.
This bucket of bolts is never going to get us past that blockade.
This baby's got a few surprises left in her, sweetheart.
The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Lando Calrissian, that charming rogue, joined the Brotherhood of the Brave in The Empire Strikes Back. Their allies came in many strange shapes and sizes, and sustained them in every climate, even against impossible odds. But finally, a man must confront his destiny alone.
Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
In Return of the Jedi, Luke would reach the heart of darkness and its terrible temptations. The vision was unprecedented. So was the task of placing it on film. This is the saga behind the saga. Tunisia, 1975. The Star Wars company arrives at its first location. Besides conceiving and writing the film, George Lucas served as director. On such a complex project, that's at least one job too many, according to George. George co-wrote The Empire Strikes Back, oversaw pre- and post-production, and Irvin Kershner directed.
Keep moving the camera.
All the saga's directors. The newest member of a very exclusive club is Richard Marquand, who directed Jedi.
No, the coach stays. Huh? Coach stays.
In the desert near Yuma, Arizona, Richard would lead cast and crew through heat and sandstorms to complete one of Jedi's major sequences.
You should be looking at it.
We worked 4 weeks to realize what George and Richard had planned months before on a model. George was everywhere as we geared up to shoot. Here he's checking storyboards with designer Joe Johnston.
The battle of the big ships is still going on out beyond the Death Star, right?
Well,
as the fighters go in.
As the fighters go in, we assume that the rebel cruisers also start to go in.
Yeah.
He even turned up at my costume fitting.
This is actually quite similar to your outfit in the first film.
It is.
Just a black version that's a little bit more Jedi-like.
Jedi was more than a saga's climax. It offered George a chance few filmmakers get. The opportunity to improve on ideas, settings, and characters he had introduced in his earlier works.
It took so much effort to get up to speed, which was essentially to make the first film. And I created this great world, but I didn't have the fun of being able to run around in it. Now that I knew the world and I could see it, and it was a real thing, it brings up all kinds of ideas of things and funny moments and adventures that you could have in that environment that you've created. And I never got to exploit that. And I always felt, on my first film, is that now if I went back and make another film in that environment, using those characters, I could make a hell of a better movie. And it would just be infinitely more exciting and interesting and fascinating. Because the first one was just trying to, you're in a foreign environment and you just don't know what's going on. And it's the same for the author as it is for the audience.
In the history of Hollywood, few stars have so captured the imagination of fans as R2-D2, the fight